What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button and show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, we're here today to do a hero analysis. Today, it's actually not going to be Ormus. Whoopsie doodles. Shoop, 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 shoop. Fail in the setup. Boop. It's Vesa's day. We've got an E3 Vesa, and we're going to check her out. We're going to check her, I guess, a little bit in PvP as well, even though my team is not built for PvP at all. I guess we'll try a little bit there eventually, but like always, we're going to do like we normally do, read through the skills, talk about a gearing guide a little bit, some enables, such and things like that, and then we'll get to it. All right, so, deep breath, let's get into it. Active skill, Sky Collapse. 4 random enemies take 272% of her attack as damage. All allies take 120% of her attack as healing for 5 rounds. You may think that's not a very big amount of healing, but trust me, it gets pretty big. That's what she said. Anyways, first passive here, Queen's Amnesty. Increase attack by 30%, health by 25%, and crit chance by 35%. Pretty high crit chance there. 35% is not bad, meaning you can build Vesa for crit, and it actually works pretty well for damage. But obviously, if you build her for crit, her health or healing takes a little bit of a dump because she's not boosting her attack anymore. Second passive here, Symphony of Stars. When using basic attack, you take 120% of your attack as healing for 2 rounds, and also increase your attack by 30% for 3 rounds. As you can see, she's going to stack attack with her basic attacks, which means her heals get stronger actually the longer the battle goes. It's not like Ormus where you jump in the battle and his heals are set in stone from right when you start. He's going to heal the same all the way through the battle. Vesa doesn't. She actually winds up a little bit, and then her heals really start to work because they start to overlap a little bit, and her attack starts to scale higher because she gets those attack boosts. Definitely works out pretty nice for her. Last passive here, the Eulogy of Confusion. When her health falls below 50%, all enemies have a 100% chance to become silenced for 1 round. And she also gains 60, that's only, I could have swore on official that was 60. It's only 30% for 6 rounds. I could swear that's 60 on official. They might be different. I do believe that Vesa does heal a little different on official they do in private, because in private, the heals do not tick until the end of the round, whereas on official, they tick as soon as she casts the active skill, they get the heal, and at the end of the round, they get another heal. Whereas on private, they got rid of that. Now it's just at the end of the round, then she heals. So a little bit of difference between official and private Vesas, there's no doubt about that. I'm just pretty dang sure that's 60% on official. Someone will get me in the comments and say it's either true or not, but I want to say it is. Any hoodles, that's pretty much your setup. As you can tell, heavy damage on the active skill, 272%, it's not bad, but if you want to focus on her healing, you're going to run attack. If you run attack, she doesn't do as much damage as obviously if you're going to run a crit-based build for the nukes, you just lose the healing, or a little bit of it. So when it comes to gearing guide, obviously this stuff up here is whatever you've got for it. Priest gear would obviously be optimal. What I ran on mine and official for heals was 3-piece 6-star and 1-piece priest specific weapon for the highest attack. That's just what I did. But over here, I decided to go with a crit-based build just so I can kind of see both sides of the aisle on Vesa, and that's what I did. I do see both sides, and I like both sides. But the 2 main stones Vesa ever uses is going to be attack, attack, or crit, crit. The big reason is, if you want damage, you go double crit. If you want healing, you go attack, attack. That's the 2 main reasons you take those stones. I ran attack, attack on official. I do like it for heavy healing. However, crit does have its selling points, and crit also has its negatives as well. When it comes to the artifact, Vesa can use a host of artifacts depending on what you need her for. If you're just using her for the heal and support, you can run an attack-based artifact, or even a reduced damage artifact to make sure she doesn't die. There's different things you can run about with that. I like the Magic Stones because it's a good all-arounder. I like to leave it on her just full-time because it helps her in the PvP, not get crowd controlled, helps her pretty much everywhere. It's just not a bad arty. But if you're going for like maximum crit in PvP, you might run the Punisher Staff to give her the extra crit chance and crit damage. And it does nuke pretty freaking hard when you throw that on her. As you see, she's got 85% crit chance with over 100% crit damage. Obviously not the strongest Vesa in the world, but it's definitely not a weak Vesa. She can nuke really hard in PvP with that. However, mid to late game, she falls off in PvP because crowd control just kind of ruins her. I like this for most all-around purposes. However, when you go to, if you're building her for crit and going for damage, class-based artifacts will obviously give you a much higher damage output than reduced damage will or double crit will. She gets better damage scaling from artifacts like these and bosses when you're fighting those specific bosses. So the artifact, like I said, they change depending on what you're doing with them. I don't recommend a set-in-stone artifact because you change them a lot. So really, it's whatever you need for. If you need reduced damage to keep her alive, put it on. If you need the extra crit, throw something with crit on. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a malleable spot. With that said, Inables. I guess we can start out here with a straight-up official Vesa, just because we can. Why not? We'll go straight official Vesa, run a couple of tests with her in PvE, then swap into more of a private server Vesa, do a couple PvE battles, and then maybe at the end, swap on maybe the crit staff and try to do some PvP with her. Even though I am horrible, garbage, awful, terrible at PvP, I'll give it a shot for you guys. So anyways, boom, that's the setup. So I guess let's get to testing her. We'll probably be fighting a Kamath Marauder to start with, so Ranger? Tell me I have a Ranger artifact. Do I not have a Ranger artifact? Am I just going to be that guy? Oh, thank God. Wait, back. You. Okay, I was actually a little bit worried. I was like, do I not have one? I could have swore I had one. I was pooping bricks, but we're good. We're back. Bam. What we're going to do is we got to set up a tank for the backline. If you ever fought Kamath, you know that he pretty much craps all of your backline. So you've got to have a backline unit that's going to be able to take it. So in this case, we're going to run the Magic Stone Sword on Ormus, because he's going to tank for us in the backline and hopefully not die. We will remove the private server enables from him to start with. Same here. We will run the just vanilla art deals first. And then I'll probably swap them over to some private server enables just to show that you can make it a little easier to fight Kamath if you want to. Boop, 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 boop. What do you got? We'll give you the HP as well. Make you a straight-up official-looking dude. So that's what we're going to do. Everything's set up right. Double crit. I don't have the C6 stone, but it's close enough. Close enough for a decent damage test. Let's go in here. Ormus is my bro. He's actually in my guild. This guy, he's got a Kamath. There we go. So what we're going to do here, I think it's already set up pretty much correctly. I want Heart Watcher in front because I don't want her to be taking any kind of petrification and dying because she's going to be my damage stacker. Without her, I do a lot less damage. Vesa also in front line. I don't want her to be getting petrified because she does no damage. I'm trying to test her damage, so I want her in the front. Also, it's a good idea to leave her in the front regardless because her heals are really nice for your team that's in the back. And if she's petrified, she can't heal and she probably dies, so it's a good idea. Anyways, in this case, Ormus is hopefully going to tank the crap out of it for us. Rosa will probably bite the big one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting humongous damage from straight-up official Vesa, even though she does have class advantage here. Are you serious, Ormus? You're going to get petrified just right out the gate like that? Come on, man. The guy I give the crowd control reduction artifacts, like, whatever. Crowd control. Psh. Whatevs. So anyways, I don't expect 17 million? What? Already? That's not bad. It's not bad at all. That's actually really freaking good. Yeah, I'm down with that. But anyways, she does have the class advantage. She is Forest over Shadow, so she does get the extra damage boost there. And also the artifact is a class-based artifact, do extra damage to Rangers. Kamath is a Ranger. So obviously that's going to boost her damage even further. 22 million damage, and this is with stock enables. This is your run-of-the-mill, regular old stock Vesa with an entirely stock team behind her. Now, bear in mind, the monster is different. The Griffin on private server is vastly different than the monsters on official. So you will see some changes there. There will be some extra damage coming in from stuff like that. That's just stuff I can't control. But I wanted to keep it pretty close to normal for the start. And as you can see, 122 million damage coming out of my Vesa. That's really not bad damage at all. And that's vanilla. That's vanilla mode. Straight up regular old Vesa. Nothing special about it. I'm not going to run a bunch of tests with just vanilla Vesa because, I don't know, it's the weaker Vesa. But, well, 120 million damage is nothing to raise your nose at. That's pretty solid. What we're going to do, though, since she's in the front line and not taking damage, we're just going to go ahead and maximize the damage we can get out of her. With Violent Attack to boost her crit and crit damage, and Spell Control to boost that active skill. As she has basic attack, she boosts her skill damage, so toward the end of the battle, she hits really freaking hard. Since we're swapping over to private server stuff, let's go ahead and change our team around as well. Heartwatcher's not getting hit in this case, so I'm going to use Honest Heart to break Kamath's attack a little bit, because she's also not getting hit. I can go ahead and utilize some things like this. I do want to run the basic attack breaking crit as well, just because he might get a lucky crit off. If he does, I don't want it to kill somebody in a back line and have him start targeting the front line. So we'll keep it like so. For Ormus, mainly just going to swap out this mightiness here for light will, so he gains crowd control immunity every round, meaning once he doesn't get petrified, he's pretty much out of the woods for taking damage. And I'll leave the rest on there just for the extra survivability in case those first 3 rounds go a little bit rough. For Rosa, I'm also going to run Honest Heart on him to break some more attack, swap some enables up. But yeah, we're looking at a straight up damage private server. Best damage you're probably going to get her very close to with a Vesa. Let's see what she does versus, what's his name? Voogd's Kamath. So here we go, Kamath. We're back. We're ready to lay some butt whoopings on you. Prepare. Prepare for the whoopings of butt. Hopefully. Hopefully. Asterisk mark. We never know. Oh my god, look at this. That's what I'm saying. Ormus crowd controlled again. With the crowd control reduction artifact, he's like, what's up? And he's almost dead. Would you stay alive, please, bud? It's the only reason I gave him... Oh my gosh, you'd be kidding me. You give the guy light will and a crowd control reduction artifact, and he stays crowd controlled for the first 5 rounds of the battle. That's why I say you always got to be a little bit, I didn't want to remove any HP off of him, because I'm like, he might die, and he got pretty close. Vesa's looking pretty solid right now, some 5 million basics to 3 million basic there. I thought the active skill dropped 30 earlier, 36.4, that's not bad for round 11. Hopefully by the last wave, she'll get a nice, nasty crit off, and it'll look really good. We'll see what happens, of course. Here we go. Oh, no crit, you buttholio. Holio of the butts. That was not good. 187 million damage. Her damage probably stayed pretty close to the same. It did. 128 million. But again, when it comes to the private server enables like spell control, if you don't crit on that last wave, it can throw your damage out by as much as 40 and 50 million, depending on the unit you're using, because that crit can be a massive crit over what you're actually normally doing. So 128 million damage, still not bad. Heartwatcher coming in with about 40. Let's try it again. This time, hopefully, Ormus won't be such a butt crack and try to die so fast, because that didn't really work out for him. Let's just next it. We already see, you know what's going on here. 224 million damage. Obviously, something jumped up. I'm assuming it's Vesa. Yes, Vesa with 157 million damage now, which is obviously really good damage. However, in guild boss fights, normally you're not going to see that kind of damage from Vesa. Very rarely will you actually see that. What you do in guild boss fights, I don't have any guild boss fights to do for you, but you almost always have to run very defensive enables when it runs guild boss. They hit so hard. Otherwise, your damage goes really low because you have all damage enables and you get killed really quick. So that's normally what happens in guild boss. Her damage does come down. And in guild boss fights, I kind of prefer attack on her just for more team survivability, but crit definitely has its place there. With that done, we've done pretty much the testing for PvE. You can see she hits pretty freaking hard. We can try some PvP, but again, bear in mind, I bloweth at the PvPeth. We're going to throw the Punisher staff on her, though, to make sure she hits extra hard. Enables for PvP. This is where I suck, because I don't do a lot of PvP-age. Let's think. Attack would be kind of nice. Crift around 4. A little bit of a wind-up there. She only hits one person with her basic attack, too, which is a little bit What we could do is we could make her almost impossible to kill. That's what I want to do. Hopefully that will work. Let's try it. Guardian Spirit and Barrier together for some super high reduced damage, just in case she gets like hit really hard. She'll get a lot of reduced damage really quick, and maybe she'll be able to survive to the end of the round and get that extra attack off. That's what I'm going for. As for Ormus, Light Will's not a terrible thing to keep on him. I'll run him pretty much vanilla. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. That works for Heartwatcher. She's not really a PvP unit. For Rosa, you're gonna be on our front line, so how about we do Curse of Death on you and try that? Because he might die first. If he does, he can free some people for me. So let's go to the Crystal Crown League, and let's see if we can't find somebody that's at least kind of close to my power, so it's not like just pooping on somebody. Within a couple 100,000, we'll try it. We'll try Senador Season. Ew. Rose is in the front. Vess is in number 2. Looks pretty solid. Obviously, not going to be using the level 1 Wolf. That would be a bad idea. Let's try it this way. Let's see if we can win a PvP. Wow. Maybe I'm assuming right now this guy did not update his monster, and he's probably using a level 1 monster, because we just kind of poop it on him a little bit. Well, his Heart Watcher stayed in there. Maybe he didn't have any ranger tech. Maybe that's the problem. Sounds legit. Sounds legit. Here we go, Vesa with the crits. Get in there and kill some people. Nice job, monster. You missed everybody. Good job. GG. But there we go. Got that guy. I didn't even check his monster like a total dope, but it didn't seem like it was super buffed. Cheese team, kind of ish. He's got the E1 Aiden, so he looks like he's trying to cheese a little bit. We can try to take Shamrock Steve-O. Reminds me of Steve Irwin, my hero. Rest in peace, Steve. But anyways, we got energy artifact on both Walter and Heart Watcher. Interesting combination there. Well, we've already knocked out half the team with Vesa's crits, which is fantastic. I love that about Vesa. Her crits are a little bit mean. Yeah, this guy's kind of getting his booty hole smashed. He absolutely got his booty hole smashed. And no baby monster, so he did have a full-on monster that time. Yeah, Vesa kind of pooped all over him. And that's what Vesa does. But bear in mind, like I said, this is seasonal PvP. It's vastly different from private server PvP or even official PvP. Because you're facing, like, especially for me down here lower in the ranks, I'm facing people that have teams that are not specifically designed for PvP. And in those areas, Vesa will just poop on people all day long, and it feels great. But when you hit those actual PvP teams, your Vesa gets pooped on, and it doesn't feel nearly as good when you're the one receiving the poopage. But anyways, whatever. We'll go like this, run one more, see if we can't get one last win. That would feel fantastic. We already lost a unit, though. Totally 100% D-add. Don't like it when people die. Doesn't make me happy. There we go. I like it when they die, though. Get wrecked, E3 Bloodblade. Freaking one-shot him. I bet you feel a little sad about that one, because I know I definitely would. It wouldn't make me happy. Here we go. The one thing I do like about the Griffin in PvP on the private servers, it gets rid of reduced damage, which makes things like Valkyrie and Gru so much easier to deal with, because you remove that reduced damage, you can hit the crap out of them. Instead of like normal, you're just chipping away at their health. You can take some decent chunks out now. So that's nice. Pretty good damage. I haven't been checking her heals much. Should we do... Let's do a battle... Do I have anything in Broken Spaces? Probably haven't fought at all. I don't think I have. I have. Well, look at that. We'll ditch Ormus. Okay, Ormus is already out of the line. This is perfect. We're going to run this battle here with Vesa built as crit. She's not an attack-based Vesa. I just kind of want to keep a slow track of her heals for you so you can get an idea of what her heals are like on the private server. So let's do this at 1x speed just because we're just kind of looking for the wind-up on the heal. It's going to start out pretty low, but as the rounds go up, it should increase as her attack stacks. So the first self-heal was only 214,000 health. Not bad, but also not super great either. The first team heal coming in here is going to be 278,000 for everyone. That's not bad. I can deal with that as well. Not it's really slow right now. 278, 600,000. The thing about Vesa, though, is her healing will start to stack on itself, and you're going to see that, I think, by round 5 is when it starts to kick in. Healed herself for 1 million there, which is fantastic. But I think her AoE heal is going to start climbing now. It should. It did in my earlier testing, so it should stay the same. Boop. 674,000 for the entire team instead of the 200 and something thousand. So obviously a big bump in her heals there, and it stayed at 670,000 that round as well. This round it should fall off again. I think you get 2 rounds of big heal, then you drop back to 200, or that's 396. But then she stacks it right back up, and it should be back to the 600,000s after this round, I believe. Usually that's how it goes. Beep. There it is. 792 actually, so it even went up higher. So as you can see, though, you get the picture. Vesa's healing... Oh, I killed it. Killed it all the way dead. Suck it, noob. Yeah. You get the idea, though. Vesa's healing isn't like Ormus, where Ormus is kind of a static heal. Like, once he starts the battle, his heal is what it's going to be. So in the early rounds, like round 1 through 5, Ormus will handily out-heal Vesa, which makes him a little bit better in PvP, in my opinion, if you're using pure support role, because he will be able to heal faster. And keep in mind, though, those Vesa's heals were with a crit build, not an attack build. My Vesa on official heals herself, I believe, almost 2 million health, and the team, I can't remember, I want to say it's like 900,000, it's crazy. She has a huge amount of healing potential with an attack build. But like I said, she winds up. You saw it happen. She started out really low, 214,000 self-heal, 200-something thousand team heal, and then by round 5, she was at 600,000 team heal with almost a million at health herself, and then by round 7, she even hit up to higher to 700,000 team heal, which is a big deal. So her healing is definitely not to be laughed at, and it actually does put Ormus to shame. I don't really want to run the video. We'll use that for Ormus's testing, I guess. We'll go through and show Ormus's slow heal progress so you can kind of see what Ormus does. But the idea stays about the same. Vesa will out-heal Ormus even in a crit-based build, long run, but in fast bouts of really quick rounds, Ormus will out-heal Vesa. Generally speaking, a crit-based Vesa, that is. An attack-based Vesa, maybe like for the first couple of rounds, but I believe she'll catch up much faster. Anyways, that's most of the stuff around testing in battle. As for the Aspen dungeon, she does pretty decent, but I died here at Nightmare 50 with all the 3 units that I had, because Vesa has very wide ranges of enemies that will poop on her. And depending on the build you run for your Vesa, different enemies will poop on her differently. My attack-based Vesa has crapped on every single Bade I've ever run into. I've never lost to Bade in the entire Aspen dungeon until yesterday. Yesterday, with my crit-based Vesa, I was pushing in a Nightmare, and a 10-star Bade managed to one-shot my Vesa. It's never happened with an attack-based Vesa that I've ever seen. My crit Vesa, though, first time for everything, I guess, pooped right on her, took her out. So there's certain things you got to watch out for with Vesa. I wasn't even afraid of him, because like, whatever, I've killed this guy a trillion times. He got me. He snuck one in. But for the Aspen dungeon, I would say with a good supporting team and knowing what your Vesa is capable of, knowing where to demon potion and stuff like that, you can make it to hell with Vesa. It's just going to be harder to do than making it to hell with someone like an E3 Gru or E3 King Barton, who are much more resilient to that damage and can last through a lot of tough waves, whereas she's a little bit more squishy even though she has the heals. So an Aspen dungeon, still a really solid unit, hell capable in my opinion, even though I didn't quite make it there, but definitely a good all-around unit, pretty much good in everything, up to a point. For Vesa's analysis rating, if I had to grade her, I would say Vesa is an A tier unit. I wouldn't say she's S, or I guess you would call that God tier, but the only reason for that is she does not make it to in-game PvP. She does get shut out of PvP as soon as you start facing really heavy crowd control teams. They poop on her real fast. But when it comes to PvE, Vesa's fantastic. She's going to work in PvE for the entire game. All the way to the very last day you play the server, you can have an E3 Vesa for your healer on your guild boss damage team, your marauder team, and you will not be sorry about it. She's a very good unit for that. However, like I said, when you jump into the PvP side of things, she does lose efficiency, so she's not going to be God tier in my opinion, but she's still a very great hero for a vast majority of the game. This is the problem a lot of people have, is they want to look at one aspect of the game and judge a hero based on that and that alone, and I don't really like that. I've seen a lot of people say Vesa's mid-tier, not worth building, and usually those people are at the in-game PvP, and that's why they feel that way. For me, I would never say Vesa's a bad build, and I mean, unless you're only for PvP, but she's going to have use in the vast majority of the game, for the vast majority of the game, until you reach that late-game PvP. So I would say definitely an A-tier unit. You will not regret building a Vesa, in my opinion, unless you were just a hardcore, balls-deep PvP, all-day, everyday kind of player. You're going to like her. She's a great unit. So anyways, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please make sure, smash that thumbs up button to show your support if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and tell your friends about it, because that definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.